Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for this session on Amazon Bedrock. And we are excited to have a special guest today, INR Jayakrishnan. INR is a well respected expert in AWS ecosystem. He is AWS hero in machine learning category. And today he will be guiding us through Amazon Bedrock, which is AWS generative AI platform, and it is changing the way we think about innovation in AI and transforming industries with scalable, reliable, and secure AI models. So get ready for an engaging and informative session, and let's dive. Let's give a warm welcome to INR Jayakrishnan. Over to you, INR.
Thanks. Thanks, Deepali, for kind introduction. Okay. And about me, I'm Ajay Krishnan, and I'm currently work as an executive director and principal engineer in the largest financial organization. I'm recently, as Deepali mentioned, recently included into the machine learning hero program. And thanks for all the UG leaders and all the AWS program managers for this community. And today agenda, we're gonna touch upon the generative application. Okay, everybody's talking about generative AI now, but we want to touch upon what role each people can play. Okay, and it's in a big organization in enterprise. We have different personas involved in AI application. We're gonna touch upon it, and of course, that's my favorite part is I'll go with what are all the offering Gen A stack for AWS from the AWS, then dive deep into the Bedrock, and we try to do as much as hands-on possible. And I, at the end of this session, I'll try to hand over the slides to uh, Dipali, where you guys can have reference for the few of the links I shared, where you can practice on your own. Okay, so let's talk about this personas. Okay, so guys, everybody build. Say, let us build a GenA application. Okay, but building a generative AI ecosystem, we have different personas. Okay, since we have availability of the model like Llama or ChatGPT, we can consume as an API. We are able to build it very fast. Okay, but when come to the real time, when come to the industry, we have different personas. I'm gonna highlight few personas and I'm gonna deep dive on it, and few areas we will just have a glance over. Let me start with the AI researcher and who is develop the new architecture and develop the model. Okay, and product manager, if you're building an AI product, okay, or if you have a product which you want to leverage AI for your business value, so the product manager play a pivotal role. Okay, then data engineer, data is your differentiator in enterprise. Data is a key differentiator, and data in the sense right from the ingestion to the storage and available for the consumption. It will go through the process where the data engineers will take care of it. Of course, they will ensure the compliance and everything. And we have a data scientist and ML engineer who is a core part of uh, making the model, take the right model and available for the consumption for the application. And in a Gen A era, the prompt engineer play a pivotal part, so they understand the business context and they will prompt it till they able to get a finer information relevant to your their queries. Then cloud, of course, cloud play a pivotal part when we are building an application for the scalable millions and millions of users. UI and UX, let's say the Chat GPT or the Bedrock Playground, they are very intuitive, they are very user friendly, and you can. Today we're going to look at that, how friendly the Bedrock Playground is. So that play a pivotal role in adoption, and ethics responsible AI is at the core. So there are currently you can see the role CISO on the focus of AI. Okay, so then software engineer, you have already built an application. How are we going to integrate this AI model or application as an API from in your existing system? And of course, continuous improvement. So few areas we are going to be touch upon. A researcher, I'm going to give some overview, and product manager, data engineer, and ML engineer, prompt engineer. That's just going to be touch upon. Why do we need to know the personas? Because some people have a different interest, okay, and it's high time where you will understand what kind of interest you have, and you can focus on that when come to the Gen A I say ecosystem. Okay, let's take an a researcher. Okay, um, anybody have idea about it? What is this model I'm talking about? Okay, I'm talking about some new model which is added as to the AWS Bedrock. Okay, they call it as a Jamba on model. Okay, what is Jamba? Okay, everybody started talking about the encoder decoder architecture from the transformer, right? And that is really good, and it given a different paradigm on the NLP use cases, and we are able to solve many problems, and it opened up the GenA for the LLM, but it is really resource intensive, right from the training as well as serving. Okay, then there is a new architecture came. They call it as a mixer of expert. There is a company called Mistral.ai, and you can see a lot of models from the Mistral AI available in a Bedrock. We will see through that. Okay, so they came up with the architecture mixer of expert, where rather than having a activate all the parameters, we will have a say if it is at 28 mixed 28 parameters, you'll have a different activation for the different expert finance or something like that. Okay, then comes the Mamba architecture. Okay, so this Jamba architecture is combination of all. So this is where the AI researcher will spend their time on it, identify the gaps, and what would be the best way we can bring a novel architecture to solve the biggest problem. Okay, and very simple. I can tell about is if you look at the attention um, is all you need paper. You see all the tokens will be in the memory. All the tokens will be processed parallelly, and they will keep everything in a vector in a KV, everything in a memory. Okay, and here in a Mamba layer, they will keep switching that in a different memory layer so that they are able to uh, efficiently manage the throughput. Okay, speed is matters. So take an example. This is a benchmark they have given. If you look at the cache and value, so for the 256 context, on a 16-bit, for the Llama 70B billion parameter, they end up in using 80 GP. And at the same time, if you are Mixtral, 18 to 22 billion parameter I'm talking about, right? So it need a 56 GP. But at the same time, if you look at the 52 parameter, 52 billion parameter, the active parameters is for 12 billion parameter, and only we need a 4 GP memory. So that's a novelty you're bringing. If you are really good at research, you can always focus on this research, and AWS provide the better ecosystem to do this kind of research. And this is the efficiency we have bought it. So Llama 3.18 billion parameter out of all the benchmark. The Jamba 1.5 mini billion parameter is doing fair well. So you can run this model in a single GPU. Okay. Okay. Then comes to the generative AI stack offering from the AWS. Okay. So they when come to them building this model, the AI architecture, right? You need to do the testing, multiple testing, correct? So you need a robust infrastructure. That is what AWS will provide. So you can use a GPU, the latest H100, all kind of GPUs will be available in AWS. And the Trainium is a custom chip developed by the AWS for training the large any AI or ML models, okay, including the large language model. Inference here, when come to the model, right? If you are build a model, if you spend some money, and if it is grand success, you will end up in spending so much money on the inference. Okay, so you need to always you also focus on the inference here. Take example of Jamba architecture, which I told it will be scaled well on the inferencing side. Okay, so for that inferencia is done for the inferencia for inferencing the large language model. AWS has the custom chip called inferencia. When developing the model, right from developing to the deployment, you end up in having a whole machine learning operations or ML lifecycle, right? So you have to explore the data, you need to train the data, and you need to validate the data. You need to do the fine tune with the hyperparameters. All the end to end you can do via SageMaker. Okay. Um, then we have something called ultra cluster. So the large language model, if you're building a model like a Llama 405 billion parameter, you need a large amount of parallel GPU cluster connected with the uh, better network connectivity. That's where we are using a EFA, Elastic Fabric Adapter, and then we call it as ultra cluster. It's nothing but a parallel of GPUs running at the same time in a distributed manner. Okay, leveraging SDK like a neuron SDK to develop the large language model. Okay, then EC2 capacity block. Let's say if you're doing a AI researcher, you want to develop your architecture, you want to train the model from the scratch. Um, you can block that I need so and so time you need it, so that the availability of the GPU or the infrastructure you needed will be available. That's what we call say EC2 capacity block. Um, and the Nitro is the isolated system for your security. So why am I giving more information about the infrastructure is if you are AI researcher, if you want to develop the model from the scratch or you want to do multiple iteration, you have to focus on this particular stack. It will give you more idea about it, how to do the end-to-end building the large language model leveraging AWS. Then comes the Bedrock. So Bedrock, under the hood of the Bedrock, you can do the complete right from playground. Then you can validate the model using LLM evaluation. Then you can create your RAG architecture using knowledge base, and you can have the agentic workflow using agents, and all the better best practice of the prompt. Everything you can store in a prompt management prompt catalog. We are going to see everything hands-on today. Okay, as much as possible. Then on top of everything, you can use Amazon Q. So Amazon Q have a 3 or 4 uh, mm, uh, services, I say. So Amazon Q Connect is like a for the call center. Amazon Q Developer is like you have a IDE, which is kind of co-pilot for your IDE. Recently, Amazon Q Developer is available under the co-pilot on your VS Code. You can try that also. Queuing and QuickSight, Amazon Q and QuickSight is nothing but bringing your large language NLP onto your BI. It's a business intelligence tool. You can retrieve the data. You can find the answers from your data source on the BI using your natural prompts. Okay, and there is something called Amazon Q for Business, which is connected to your data source, where it's end to end. Right from you just need to connect your data source. It'll give you the link where you can start building your application on top of it. Now, in this session, we are going to be touch upon on the Bedrock. Why I have given this one is people always need to understand when come to the Gen AI ecosystem, it's not like only consuming the model makes a difference. Sometimes we need to know this infrastructure when we want to do the fine tuning the model, which I'm going to be touch upon in a later. So take an example. This is a one. There is some. If anybody heard about the Bloomberg they have created something called Bloomberg GPT. They leverage AWS infrastructure to do the end-to-end machine learning model. So this is a data set, which is a general purpose data set. And this is their own data set, which is the differentiator, okay, which I talked about it. And then they use the P4D.24x large instance, okay, 64 nodes. And D instance is a dedicated instance. This is the infrastructure. So they use a SageMaker SMP, they call it a model parallelism because it's run on a 64 nodes. So the model need to be run on parallelly. So they developed this model. Okay. Just to giving you the idea about it, how people can build an end-to-end model, the company like a Bloomberg GPT, how they can build the large language model leveraging the AWS services. Okay. Slightly touch upon the product manager because it's my nowadays it's my favorite part. Okay. How they understand the end-to-end of their product and how AI can leverage AI to bring a business value. Okay. It's not like they are force fitting. They understand the product end to end. They find, okay, there is a gap which AI can play a role to bring a better customer experience or give the customer the cost savings. Those kind of challenges the product manager can identify and then bring. And there are challenges for the product manager, identify the return on investment on the first one, and they need to work on a cross organization. They need to work with the data engineers. They need to work with the business team. They need to work with the SME. They need to work with the cloud engineers to happen it. Okay. What kind of skills needed? They need to have understanding about how this industry is evolving on the NLP side and how to work in a cross-functional team, and have set a realistic expectation about the return on investment rather than overkill. So that's about the product manager. Then comes the data engineering. This is very important when come to you building the large language model. Um, if you are just consuming the model, building a small application for your POC, that's well and good. But when it come to the enterprise, data is everything. Data is a key differentiator. Okay, so the data source can be anywhere. It can be IoT or app logs or anything. You can use this AWS data stack. So for the ingestion, you can use a Kinesis or MSK. For the relation database, you can use Aurora or um, RDS instances, everything. And Glue has a multiple connector for your native data source. If you have a Salesforce or anything, you can connect to it. And this is to ingest the data. There is something called crawler. You can connect your data source, which can be in S3 bucket. It will crawl the data and write it to the and discover the schema for you. Then process. To process a large amount of data, you can use EMR. EMR has three flavors if you are aware of it. You can run on EKS or you can run on serverless. Then data quality. You can create your own rules on the Glue and make sure the data quality is met. Okay. And you can, once you build your complete data ETL pipeline, you can run as a recurrent job using a Glue job. Then storage, of course, for you can use the data warehouse, Redshift serverless, and you can store on S3 bucket or you can store on RDS or DynamoDB. Then important part, open search services. All these services which I'm talking about, say take an example of DynamoDB or OpenSearch, you can store the data in a vector format, which is needed for our large language model while we are doing the retrieval augmented generation. On the future slides, we're going to touch upon that. Then, of course, once the data is available, you can use the quick sites. As I mentioned, quick site is a tool which you can use NLP. You can use a natural language conversation to get the data, get the insights out of it. You can find very interesting things. You can have a data, just say executive summary. It will take the data points and it will create a charts and it will give you the important takeaway from this and give you the executive PDF for you. Okay, that's wonderful tool. Yeah, feel free to try it out. Okay. And Bedrock is once you have a data available, you can use the Bedrock while you are if you want to use the rack or you want to do the fine tuning, which we are going to touch upon. Of course, catalog governing is very important. You can use the Glue catalog for keeping all your metadata information, lake formation to make sure that all the data is recorded properly. Who is having access to what? Data zones is it's kind of data mesh architecture. Different team can have their data and share it between themselves, like a publish and subscriber mode. Okay. So when come to the generative AI, you can think about like this. The data can be in a PDF or XML format. You ingest the data and we can process the data. And this is where we are going to, if you want to do the vector, if you want to future engineering, you can future engineering, you can find what are the features important for your model and store in a feature store. Then if you are generating model, while you are doing the fine tuning, you need the data. Let's say you are a customer, you are collecting the data records for all the customer reviews. You are storing all the data in a DynamoDB. If you want to do fine tune your model with the customer review, you can take those data and have a proper ETL job and do the sentiment analysis using a machine learning X model in a batch process and tag it and use that model to fine tune the existing model, which give you better accuracy than the base model. Okay. Okay. That's all from the data part. Let's get into the machine learning era. So we have so much of the model available in online. If you go to the Hugging Face, where it is a model hub, you can see at least millions of models. Okay, now So when come to the model, you in enterprise or any kind of use case, you need to always have a find the right choice of model. You have to look at whether the model is open source or restricted usage. A Llama is not an open source model; it's a restricted usage model. And parameters. When you come to the in RAG or in context learning, you need to identify what is the parameters which the model can limitation. Okay, and speed. If you are want to have faster response, then you need to find out the better model. If you take us the one of the best model in the uh, Bedrock is the cloud model. Sorry, Anthropic model. The Haiku, the speed is fast. Okay, and then sorry, parameters I missed. Parameters like top K or top P based on based on how the next token to be generated. The parameters is important. The context window is what important. The how much context you can store when you are giving input to the model. Fine tunable. This is very important. You find the model is doing good, but it lack your own data. You want to fine tune the model with your data, but you need to know whether the model is fine tunable or not. Okay. Then very important is always look at the model cards. If you're looking taking a model from Hugging Face, what is the training data set they used to train the model? Because if they have a poisoning on the data, then it become high challenges. It will have a very bad response from that side. Then you've selected the model, at least high level, you understand this and select the model. Then what do? You do the prompting, you do the zero shot prompting, or you do the few shot prompting and see whether it is solving your use case. If it is not solving your use case, then you pick up the same model, connect with your own proprietary data using a RAG technique and see whether it is solving your problem. Still, if it is not solving the problem, then take the base model and fine tune the model with your own data. Then it will if check whether it solved the problem. Even after that, it is not solving the problem. Go for the pre-training the model from the scratch, which we have seen how the Bloomberg GPT done. Okay, why? Because these are all pre-training the model from the scratch is an expensive operation. Okay, using a Bedrock, you can do all these things except pre-training the model. You can pre-training the model end to end using the SageMaker, using the stack which I have mentioned, right? The infrastructure stack. You can pre-train the model from the scratch. Now you got idea why I have touched upon that particular stack when it come to the large language model journey. This is the metrics I always use when I'm selecting the right model. I identify the task first. We have multiple foundation model. I identify the task, whether it's a QA or text completion or summarization, text to image or audio to text. I understand what kind of use case I have. Based on that, I select the model and I leverage AWS Playground to do this one. After this, we're going to directly touch upon the demo. Then once do the iteration, I understand this is my use case. I create a prompt, then I will store what all the variables and store it under the prompt catalog. Then I use the AWS model like a LLM evaluation, evaluate the model between the my own data set and what is the response and see how it is matching. I use the LLM evaluation. Then I'll identify what is my business requirement, whether speed or precision or cost. Based on the trade-off, I'll make a decision. If it is a uh, here I find this model is doing good. FM2 is doing good. The speed is okay, 15 milliseconds. I can okay with that. Precision is little less, but the cost is okay. So based on that, I'll able to find my champion model. Okay, let's go dive into our hands-on exercise. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about, the foundation model playground. So you can go to the overview. Here we have 7 model providers. Jamba is the model I was telling, which is using a novel architecture, and it's a Titan model from Amazon. Claude is the one of the industry best model, and Command Cohere is one of the best embedding model you can see, and Llama is the best open source model available. Mistral AI is best for inferencing, and Stable Diffusion is the model for the image. Let's say I want to try some model which is need to be a robust, it need a good context. Then I take a example, select the model. Here you have multiple example. I'll take Amazon. Then I will check. I need a text is the my use case. See, this is modality and use case. Look at it. Now I want to have a summarization. So here, this is a summarization. There is a minutes of meeting. There's a transcript while we having a meeting that you can see the transcript would be recorded. I'm taking the transcript and I'm asking create a action items for the person. I'm running now. So you can see it's an input, this many tokens we have, output, this much token, and this is the latency. So it is giving me the example. Action item for Michael, brand, and Amita. This is the example you can see. So I follow the same practice, right? The one I was talking about, the best practices about picking the model. Okay, so I'll first identify my task, select this, and pick the model. Same way, now I can do one thing. I can be in a comparative mode and select other model. Select the model. I take Anthropic. I'll take the one of this best model. Okay, and I say, let's say the same use case. Okay, take a example itself. Take the same example, transcript example. Now go back, go to this model, run this. So you can see the latency. So this model giving a different response. The input token we have given and the output token more and the latency is more, but it give a detailed information. So now this is how you need to first pick the model, whether it is solving your use case, whether you are okay with the latency, whether you are okay with this content. Based on that, you will need to make a decision. So next, let's do some example about the image model. Provider. Okay, let's take a Amazon model. Um, Amazon. Go to the image model, select the model, Amazon text generator. Okay, give me a nice image of sunset where I can view from the cliff of mountain in Ireland. So giving this information. So here you can give a negative prompt if you say, I don't want any kind of birds on this, or I say, I don't want any trees on it. You can give this kind of negative prompt. Based on that, it will generate the image. So of course, this also have complete details about what is the, how much time it is taken to create an image. All those information will be on a CloudWatch logs. See? It's so realistic. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about it. Okay. So this playground is so powerful. You can do the check the chat model or image model. You can try this one. Let me touch up. Let me go to the what is the next one I want to show you guys. Prompt catalog. So here I go to the prompt management in a builder tool. So take an example of itinerary planning. Okay, no. Here, let's take a very with a simple example. Blue Wave Holidays. I want to test the model. Give me the different type of rooms available in a resort in Maldives or Sri Lanka. Okay. I want to test this one. Version 2. It is asking to run. Here, I can, it is asking me to give a variable. So I enter the variable here, resort name. I can say hard Marriott. Say Marriott. It's a variable. So why this is needed is, okay, start from a minute. I will do the validation from the prompt management. editing prompt builder, run a view. Okay. Okay, it's we need to come here, select the model. Here I selected the sonnet. Here I say Marriott. Sorry, I ran it before. I need to stop it. Let it run and I'll come back. So you have a complete prompt will be available where you need to give this prompt and whatever the changing variable, you can keep it like this and you can call it from the prompt flow. It given a complete information, but I'm just want it for the Marriott. If I run this, you can see this a variable. You can change this variable and do it in application. If you're building in a end-to-end application, you can keep this as a variable. So you can keep changing your hotel name. Sorry, based on that, it'll give you the response. This is a very simple example I have given, but I'll give you a little bit brief example. Still running. Okay, see, this is the response you got it. Okay, Marriott operations develop properties. It'll give you the options available in Maldives. It'll give you options available in Sri Lanka. So this is fantastic. Let me go to the one more use case in a prompt catalog itinerary planning. So it is little bit create itinerary planning. Here I'm keeping destination, number, theme, and audience, everything as a variable. Now let's go and create check it in the uh, mm, we'll take in a text here. I changed the different model. Okay, I am keeping a destination as let's say Malaysia, number of days, keep it as the 5 days. Theme as what do you say? Um, Adventure. Audience is for so it's solo traveler. I'm just giving us the variable. So if you run this, this is the power of the prompt management. Okay, once you fine tune, this is a prompt giving a better response for me. You can create a variables and call it. See, this give you the complete information about this. If I go and change the variable as a couple or family, it'll give a different one. Okay, this is about the prompt management. Next comes the knowledge base. Let me touch a little bit primer about the RAG before testing the knowledge base. Okay, model evaluation. Yeah, that I can show it lot later. Okay. So it's a simple POC. Now you have Bedrock model. You want to build a nice application. How do you do it? So this is simple architecture. I have built it and I store it in the, I have the step-by-step instruction. Feel free to have a look at it. So let me open it a little bit so you can have a look at it. Okay, here it is. So it's very simple model. You don't need to do anything. Okay, you need to download this GitHub code and just to do the SAM deploy, it automatically deploy everything. Then you can call the API with the values. It will give you the response. Okay, I given us step-by-step instructions here. Feel free to follow it. So anybody who just want to build a simple application, feel free to test it out. You can find, okay, I'm able to build something using a Bedrock API. It's a best, this is what I can say, best thing you can do it. Okay, after that, you can test the CloudWatch logs, okay, everything. So I highly recommend if anybody want to start with it, please check it. Okay, it's very easier to build this application. Now it's about the rack. So it's a retrieval augmented generation. So very simple concept I can tell is if you are writing an exam, you um, any exam or the college, you will be studied a very good for the last 1 year, and the final exam comes. They'll give a questions. They will not you will not have access to any data. Whatever you learned, you have to write. So the large language model only do that. That's it. It will not do anything else. Okay, but imagine they have given you they have studied enough, but they're saying, you know what? you studied enough, but the questions, whatever we are asking, it is relevant to different, relevant, which is you can find it in this particular book. You can refer this and give an answer. That is what the retrieval augmented generation is doing. Okay, so that book we call it as a vector store, and how the what content it was in the vector store is relevant. What content which is under the vector store is what your proprietary data. What it is trying to do is it will first convert your all your text, all your or your content in using embedding. It will convert into the vector and store in a vector store. And when you are giving a query, it will take your input also as a context, and it will go check in a vector store and see what are the relevant information they have relevant to your query, and take additional context from the vector store and give that as an input to the large language model. So it will give a uh, better response. Okay, let's say if you're asking who won the latest game between India and South Africa to the large language model now, it will not get the answer. Okay. But imagine if you are, and yeah, you can do that if you has an internet access, like a ChatGPT has a function calling to the internet, it is, you can get it. But if you're asking any model, old model, say 3.3, 3.5, it will not able to do it. All you have to do is you have to give additional context about the latest information as a vector, store in a vector, and it will be added to your large language model and give you the response. Okay, so that is what the retrieval augmented generation doing. This is the ingestion flow. So the data source convert, make it in a chunks, taking using embedding model. You can use a Titan embedding model, store it into the vector store. Okay, then the text generation, the user give an input, it uses the same embedding model, convert that input as an embedding, check a semantic search, and get additional context, give that context information to the prompt along with the user input. When the large language model have both the information, it will give you the better response. Okay, so that's all about the retrieval line. Okay, and the same thing, if you have a use case, you can use a knowledge base, connect to your database like a Confluent or Salesforce or SharePoint or S3. Okay, and the same Lambda function, the request will be taken by API gateway. Then it will connect to the knowledge base, get that particular response, which is already in the knowledge base, and send you back the response. Okay, so I have built this code also. Feel free to check out on my GitHub. You can test it out this also. Okay. Before going to the next demo, I talk about the agent. Okay. What is the agent? Everybody talking about agentic AI, correct? So think like you are have a action items. Okay. Imagine if you want to buy insurance, what you will do? I will first check out my requirement, check five, six better insurance provider. Then what I will do, I'll ask them the quote. I get the quote. Then I will compare it with my all the criteria. Then I will book the insurance. Okay. So what the agentic AI do is it's same workflow. If you are right code it, it will do it in an iterative manner. Okay. So get the insurance detail, compare the insurance details with what is my requirement. Okay. And take action. So it take a small action using a particular agent. Okay, I'm just giving you the simple example, but the same thing you can do for validating the claims and send a reminder on the claims. All those things you can do it as an agent AI. Okay, here we have four part. You can create an agent which is using SDK, and you can give the instruction to the agent saying that you are a I take the same example what we have shown in Amazon or given by Amazon. You are a healthy assistant to manage insurance claim. That is, we give them the uh, a role of the agent. Okay, and then we can give the action group. Let's say if you can create an open spec information and call the lambda function, it will fetch the data from the DynamoDB or anything, get open claim, and whether compile, send the reminder, those things. And the data source, you can connect your S3 or you can connect your knowledge base to get the data. And then the agent will send a task, whether it's need to send a reminder, all those things. The complete thing you can orchestrate using the agent. Okay, we will touch upon some use case today. Same thing I told. If you have a data, if you want to build the same thing, example, invoke the bail. You give them, I want to go to the vacation for 5 days to Maldives. This is my budget. Okay, give me 5, 6 option. So the agent will go check the information from the internet or from the knowledge base, and it will give you the details. And if you have access to the book API call, it will go book the hotel and flight and send you the response. I'm just giving high-fi. There are a lot of things involved on it, like authentication, authorization, a lot of things on it. But if you're orchestrating using agent, you can able to achieve this. Okay, let's do the simple demo on agent and knowledge base. So this is a knowledge base I have created. In this knowledge base, we have something like a two data set. Okay, one data set is about the resort information. This is Blue Wave holidays. This is a simple example I always quote on because they don't have any PI data. And 1 minute. So open, it will download the data. I'll show the little bit about the data so that you guys can get information on it. 1 minute. So it find a resort. If the file is there, I can show you guys first. Okay, here it is. I have this information. It's opening. It's a little big file. So it has all the information about what are the offerings you have. So this is how it is. I cannot move it here 1 minute. Sure. So could not open it. Okay. I cannot show it in the screen 1 minute. Try to move it to the screen. Okay. Is it loaded? No, still it is loading. So this sheet has around 50 to 60 resort information where you can able to uh, as a data source or the best, how much rate, what is the result, when it is available, how to do the booking, all the information you have in this. What I did is in a knowledge base, I give this as a data source, and we have customer testimony also. We have this here. I'm using the embedding. So how I can do is I can create a knowledge base. Very easy, the knowledge base. You can create a knowledge base quickly, create knowledge base, give the knowledge base instruction and check whether what kind of data source. ISO, told you Confluence, Salesforce, SharePoint, it's on a preview. You can keep it as an S3. For S3, you need to give which path you need to take the S3 bucket and chunking. If you the chunking, you remember the rack we were talking about the chunking, you do the chunking, then you can select the embedding model and configure the vector store. Here I already created it on interest of time. So embedding model, I'm using the Titan embedding model. For the vector database, I'm using the Pinecone as the vector database. Okay. So if you want to know about the Pinecone, so Pinecone, it's free. In default, if you can create where you can create it, if you're creating with a default, it'll create Elasticsearch. I prefer Pinecone because it come free for me. So for the one index, so I taken this one. If you're using Elasticsearch, make sure that you keep eye on the cost. Okay, this is using a different one. I maybe use a different account for it. Okay. So I will try to show that Pinecone, which you may find it useful. So use the API key. Okay. So here so all this instruction I documented in my blog. Feel free to have a glance at it. You can do it. You have to spend 30 to 40 minutes. You can create it. So this is the agent I have created. So this is the index. Okay, so you can see this information. Okay, this is a result is what I'm doing, source where we have taken from. So it give you the information about the index. Okay, so let me go to the next part. Okay, okay, here it is. So I added, then you need to do the sync of that one. It will store the data into the this one. Now I'm going to select the model. I'm going to use the Anthropic Sonnet model. Okay, I'm going to say, give me 5 resorts offering more than $500 per day. Stay for family of 2 members. If I give this information in RAG, it will go, it will check on this particular vector database, which is a Pinecone vector database, and get this information. Okay. So this is giving you the details for 3 Airtel Sunshine. This rate is over this one. Okay, so it give you the ocean pool villa. This is the highest one, and this is a source detail you can check. So in this, you'll have a complete chunk from where you have taken it. Okay, and this is another chunk. This is the source of the chunk you have it. This is the same S3 bucket, but in a real-time enterprise, it will be a lot of people may be using. A lot of data will be there. This is about the knowledge base, and I want to touch upon the agents. So this is the agent. Okay, I have created. So this agent, I you can use same builder. You can use it here. Very important thing when come to the agent, right? You need to give them the role of the agent. Here I given the role. You are an advanced AI travel assistant with specialized capabilities in travel booking, itinerary planning, and information retrieval. Okay. You are assisted by user finding the booking of flight, hotels, and travel related. So I'll say, I'll give you this kind of information here. Okay. Here, action group, if you want to take any actions like calling that particular API for booking or anything, you can create it. As of course, it will be back to the Lambda function. Here, the session memory is important. Okay. Yeah, I want to check on this code interpreter. This code interpreter will be very helpful. Let's say the results is coming in US dollars. I will say, can you convert to the INR or Indian currency? It will use this code, say that it will do the function call. It will call the APIs outside API. Say one INR is $1 is $84. Then it will do the math by in using the code and give you the by multiply the 1 into 84 and what are the numbers we getting for the result. Get into that numbers and give you the response. Okay. It uses a code which is very fast. Okay, and memory, I enable the memory for this one so that in a chat it'll have the context. So and you also have option to add the knowledge base if you don't want this to be hallucinate. If you want to only stick with your knowledge base, you can have it. Let's say test an agent. Okay, save and exit and preparing the agent. I'm giving them the information. Can you give me the itinerary for travel to Malaysia for 5 days with the family of 2 starting December 1. If I give this information, it will go, it will check, it will give you the response. Okay. This is a pre-processing step you take it. It is not using a knowledge base or anything. Okay, you can see it will keep all this information into the memory. If you look at the memory, it will create one session ID. Okay, still it session is open, so it is creating this one. It take a response. It will take some time to give a response for this agent. Okay, I need more information, which is your starting city and country, because it is finding the way to book your hotel trip or anything, right? Okay, you can say same thing. You can use it. Okay, family of two and one children from Bangalore. If I run this, so I told them if you don't have that information, you ask the user input for more information. So this is the agent will do this one. Okay, city to visit. Oh, still it is not able to. City to visit in preferred it. Okay, now I can say beaches. So this is where it keep all the context. I just giving the beaches. If you look at the memory, okay, still the memory is supposed to maintain. So I think the memory is not taken. Okay, maybe because of the model selection we have. Let us go back and sorry guys, I prefer live demo. So sometimes it will go a little bad. So here change is on primer, apply, and memory. Memory. No, it's not. It's not there. So if you have memory, it no need all the information. If you just give a beaches, it'll give you this information. 1 minute. I think I tested. It's been more than a week. I not tested it. So change Anthropic, Cloud Sonnet, apply additional settings. Good. Memory. Single con. Save and exit. So I can take this information, clear the memory. Every time you need to prepare. Oh, code interpreter is not there. That's okay. Let us live with without code interpreter for some time. But let us get into the memory part, which is you may feel interesting. Okay, let us fine tune this model a little bit. I think it is not working because of the selection of the model. Change Anthropic, Sonnet, apply, and itinerary family, itinerary planning. Okay, I gave so many information. See, this is the, if you want to know a little bit more about what I have given this information. That is my VS Code. Okay, so I gave drive new word document. I gave so many information. So this is the prompt I have given. That's why it is asking more information. I can say what primary has used to finding itinerary. So I was testing with the multiple things. So travel booking. Okay, I'll make it very simple so it will not ask more question about the instruction to the agent. I can later on I can change it. Save, prepare, memory, additional settings, enable. Yeah, memory. You can see the memory I'm checking it. I'm save and exit. Prepare. Every time you do it, you need to prepare this one. So it will come with a new one. So now it will work because of the constraints we kept it in the instruction. So the role which is playing by the agent is so focused on the quality. So it is asking more question. But imagine if you're creating your bot backed by the agent, right? You want more information to make a precise decision. So now it won't ask. Oh, seriously? I think still it is asking. Okay, now we can say resort options in Malaysia. In resort options, just to give so that it keep that context information and give us a response. Okay, you say uh, Langavi. Okay, it's taking so much time. Okay, the concept of agent is this, and it is asking so much question. I think. Thank you for providing address and the design to better narrow down the option. I need additional information. Visiting addresses, Malaysia. Okay, sorry guys, this one I tested. I think I need to fine tune this. Oh my God. Okay, let me do one thing. So this is the instruction we have, right? I create a new version out of it. I create a knowledge, I put a knowledge base, add knowledge base, and save, clear, end the session. Now if I ask, can you give me the results in India if I'm asking, but in my knowledge base, I have only options available as in Maldives. It's supposed not to give because we are making this knowledge base information, but it will hallucinate. Then we will go to the guardrails and apply the relevance. So it will stop hallucinate. Okay. So this is the demo I want to show you guys. Okay. I think I need to fine tune the model. Sorry for this. Next time I'll show it properly. Let me go to my rest of the things. So then you can quick primer on the fine tuning. So there is a two way to fine tune. One, if you already have a labeled data set, you can use the fine tuning the model. You take your base model and you can use the Bedrock. I have shown you the Bedrock console, right? So you can come to the Bedrock. And this is the one. Come to the Bedrock base model and you can fine tune the model. Okay, you select the model, say example model name, uh, one instruction, and you can create a custom model, create a fine tuning job. It will ask what is the model you want to fine tune. You can select Amazon, say text light model, apply. Then you need to give a fine name and you give your input data set and you can give the validation data set, do the hyperparameter, and where the model will be stored, you can store it and it will be done. The good thing about this, whatever the model you trained upon, it will be within you. It won't be used by the data won't be used by AWS and it will be highly secured and it will be on S3 in a KMS protected manner. So this is about the fine tuning. And there is a one more man fine tuning option. But if this is the instruction fine tuning where you have a labeled data set, if you have continuous data sets, let's say if you have PDF file, large amount of the PDF file, you can use the other technique called uh, continuous. This is called continued fine tuning. Okay, that's for the domain specific unlabeled data set. You can use it, and that again store into the model. You can import that model into the Bedrock and call the fine tuned model. Then responsible AI is very important. Let's take an example. If you're building an agenda application, and you're creating a chatbot, you need to make sure that it is highly secure, and the large language model should not hallucinate, and it will not give you the malicious content, or it should not show the PI information also. So using a Bedrock or else you are able to do this one. And let me show you the Bedrock guardrails also, some demo, and then that's the last demo I want to touch upon. So go to the knowledge base. So this is a knowledge base we have, right? Um, just test the knowledge base here. Select the model. Uh, okay, great. Very good. And give me three testimonial provided provided for Blue Whale holidays. So it has all the testimony given by the customers for the Blue holidays. It is taking, retrieving and giving a response. Nice, you may feel it is taking so much time to take it. If you want the faster throughput, you can create a faster throughput using a provision which is allocated only for you and give a better response. So it is giving information like that, okay? So Jane Smith, okay? Uh, Great review by Jane Smith. Okay, so you are giving this information and it is giving information. Can I have his email ID? See, this is what important, but see, this is what it is showing. I cannot find the exact answer. It is giving email ID. Okay. Can I have his phone number? So it is giving, it is not able to get in, but it is giving a number. Right? See, this is synthetic data, so nothing to worry about it. But at the same time, if you want to apply guardrail on it, come to the guardrails. You can create a guardrails. So I already created a guardrails. You have multiple things you can do. It's a version one. I can show you this one. Harmful content. If you want to create a prompt filtering, hate filter for the prompt. So okay, let me do one thing. I can create just to create one for you guys so that you can easily understand. This is very powerful. It's very much needed for the enterprise. Say demo guardrail. So next, so harmful category, it automatically give a category and it will give you the temperature, whether you want a high, low, all those things. Avoid any prompt in intro. Anybody interested in on the responsible AI, I have few other sessions. Feel free to let me know. I can take a next session on it. Okay. So deny topic. If you don't want your competitors to be tell about it, you can do it. Or if you don't want certain region, say North Korea or some other region, you don't want to talk about it, you can give those information. So words or filter profanity, all those things you can do it. Sensitive information. So here all you have 31. Okay, you can choose mask or you can choose the block. Okay, so these are the things. If you have any custom projects, you can do this one. So this is so powerful. And then you have a knowledge base. In a knowledge base, you want to maintain the grounding. Whatever the data response that is coming from the knowledge base, you want to make sure that it's grounding and it is not hallucinating. So you, based on the score, if it is less than 0.7, it will not give you a response. And it do the relevance check and it do the grounding check and do this one. I already created one for the PAI. Now what I do is I will attach the guardrail here. So very simple to attach the guardrail. Okay, edit. Okay, knowledge base. Come to the knowledge base. Go to the version. Connections. Later source, later source. Here it is. Edit. Why we cannot? Oh, okay. It is attached to the agents. That's why it is not allowing. Let's go remove it from the agents. Edit an agent. You can try this one from agent also, but for the sake of, I'm not deleting the agent, I'm deleting this one from the agent. Save and exit. So knowledge base, edit. Oh, it's not connected to the agent. I don't know why it is showing as an agent. I have to show you the guardrail demo. What is this? Test the guardrail. Let's say select the model. Check with your document. Using a knowledge base, you can upload your PDF file and you can ask question on that particular document. That is one more feature in a knowledge base. Just knowledge base, select model. Okay. Here it is. This is orchestration. Where is the filter guardrails? Select the guardrails, select the version. I think one version. Okay. Now you ask, give me testimonial to from Wave Holidays. Sorry guys, I was using this one some time back and the UI completely little bit changed. So I was struggling to navigate. Okay, so now you see it is completely blocked the name and everything. So that is the power of the guardrails. So that's one thing. So evaluation, yeah, I'll keep the evaluation for some other time. I have done many times this evaluation. So what does it do is it will take the response and it whatever the data set you have, it take that data set and it will find out the accuracy, toxicity, and robustness of your data sets of the response we got it from the large language model. It depends on your use case, you can do it. Okay, I will just quickly touch upon that, then I will hand over to Dipali. So fine-tuning the model. Take an example, you have a financial statement analysis, but your model don't have that particular data. You can completely build an application like this. Say this is a model, this is a UI. You can review the financial statement. You can upload the statement, and it will give you the uh, details. Okay, you can create a front end using your amplify and everything, and you can the UI. You can have the user request. It will come via the Fargate, and the one API gateway take the text and check on the embedding. This is a hydration they say. This check on the embedding. Well, the data will be check on embedding. Another one, it will take a response from the Bedrock. And over the period of some time, we will use all the response and fine tune the model and fine tune the base model. So rather than using the vector database for everything, the model itself has the intelligence. And you can deploy this whole architecture using a CI/CD. So you can see multiple roles into this. So that once you upload from the UI, the request will come to the S3 bucket. Then what will happen? The same S3 bucket it happen. It will fine tune the model. You can fine tune in a periodical manner, or you can fine tune on event driven prices also. Then the infrastructure engineer built this whole pipeline and one at the same time it is fine-tuned the model. It will go to the S3 bucket, will load refresh the embedding use the if use the knowledge base, refresh it, and update the knowledge open search, which is a vector database. So it will help you on the rack. So this end-to-end architecture we can do, including the fine tuning, we can including the vector database, including the response from the Bedrock. So these are the personas involved. The data team need to collect the data. Model team need to uh, find the financial jargon and load that, make sure the model is trained. The cloud team need to give them the right compute and encryption all the layer. Product owner need to validate the product, how it is giving the business value. The GenAI developer make sure that the front end API everything is integrated and giving the right response. So that's all for the session. Yeah, I not covered the LLM evaluation. I'll keep it for some other time. Okay, thanks guys. This is me. Feel free to connect with me and you can look at my blogs. I have wrote few of the LLM evaluations and look at my YouTube videos also. I have LLM evaluation videos and looking forward to connect with, take your feedback and connect with you further more hands-on sessions with the UG Daily. Thank you guys. Dipali, hand up to you.
Great. Thanks a lot, Ainar. It's pretty rich, like content, and I'm glad that you could touch upon almost all the features of Bedrock in just 1 hour. That's pretty impressive. So, Einar, we have question from Pardeep. He is asking. I'm just displaying on the screen. Any free labs or sandbox where we can do the hands-on?
See, if you can have a free AWS accounts and you can go to the AWS console, request access for the particular model and try it out. Okay. I would say request for the once you have access, log into your console, go to the model access and take a Titan model, one embedding model and one Titan Texas. Only these two model you request access. You can try it out. Okay, so that is one thing about a lab. Or you can go to the AWS Community Builder. Um, you can watch out the sessions in AWS, sorry, AWS Skill Builder. Sorry, guys.
Skill
It's
builder. Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
okay. You can go to the Skill Builder and you can check it out on the Skill Builder on this particular part also. You can, if you're paying, you can get the labs. You can try it on your own. I never tried it, but you can always try it out. Okay. But I highly recommend you guys to have your own environment so you get dirty. See, I literally doing a stress test for the agents. Okay. So I shown you the content, right? This
Yeah,
is how
so
the
at
instruction I have
Skill
given.
Builder, like you may find some free labs, you may find some paid labs as well. So just explore this portal. And on AWS console, just make sure that you are checking your free tier limit before you are using any models, because otherwise it can be very expensive in a short time.
No, for the Bedrock, it won't charge much, but you need to be very mindful. Don't expose the keys and make sure that you are keeping it secure, trying the playground alone, keep it lean. So that is my high recommendation. Okay.
Yeah.
If otherwise you don't want to take risk, means pay for $29 for this one and test out the labs. Okay. Pretty much they have a working labs, very interesting labs. Chennai has a separate labs. Uh, they call it as a, they give you a badge of that particular labs you are completing. So if you are so ambitious, feel free to explore this also.
Yeah. Another thing, Ainar, if you can share the link of the application which you was showing on community.aws, so maybe that would be helpful.
Community.aws. This is the one. I tried the Amit. I can give my all the blogs access. So feel free to. I think I'm not able to see the screen. I think sharing
Uh,
got disconnected.
no, no, it's still on.
It's still on. I think
Yeah.
I got disconnected maybe. Right. Access portal. Okay. Are you guys able to see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Community.aws. Here, I highly recommend you guys to have a look at this. You will find a very good informative blogs there. I'm sorry, I will share it the console because I find it's the console is keep moving. Okay.
Yeah, no worries. You can share all these references later on, so I can post it on
Yes.
the meetup itself.
Sure, sure. Sure, you can see this one. Okay, you can in this community builder if you type in, I think uh, you can see all the models I did the exercise like this. You can feel free to look at it, or you can check on my blog also. But this is the best place to check.
Great.
Okay, you
Thanks
can
a
give this
lot.
link. You can give this link. You can find all the model. Even I
Mhm.
created some model like Elasticsearch and LangChain. Everything will have a step-by-step code, and you can practice on it. Okay. So this is the model I'm talking about. This is the one, right? You guys were asking. I will share this one to Dipali. Dipali will share it with you guys.
Yeah. And if you have any further questions when you're really trying these things out, or you want any other deep dive session on these like concepts, let us know and we will plan one. Thank you so much. Thanks, INR.
Thanks. Thank you for today. Bye.